Welcome to Nordic Retro Devices. Let's take a look at Nokia MikroMikko 1 software. The boot up is very simple. You see the cursor and then, if the boot disk is inserted, it boots into CP/M operating system. CP/M is an operating system that was very popular in the 70s and 80s, or beginning of the 80s, among business users. Sorry for the focus and all the mistakes with the keyboard. I'm literally doing this under a blanket on a very bright day. If you are familiar with the early versions of MS-DOS, then you find yourself around in CP/M too. But don't use the command copy to copy disks. That will end up in a disaster. Let's start WordStar, the de facto standard in word processing at that time for CP/M. And after the program launches, we can see a menu in Finnish. Let's open a text and create a file for it. The selection is D. Okay, now we have to give a name for the file to be created. Let's call it test. What annoys me is that there is no standard for cursor key input on CP/M machines, apparently. So every program has some sort of shortcut or defined keys to make them work, even though the keyboards all have cursor keys in some form. Now we are in editing mode and can write and edit text. Okay, let's try the next program. Let's start Catchum, a Pac-Man clone. Unfortunately, there is no standard for the arrow keys or any other game keys. And that means that when I start the program, I just don't know how to move. This is a typical CP/M game. It looks awful, but the gameplay can be okay. And by awful I mean that this computer is able to do high-res graphics, but CP/M as a very compact and small operating system does not provide any tools for that. Please note how the walls are made of the letter Ö, or the O with the dots, and that is a very common problem with the 7-bit ASCII characters in different languages. In 1982, Keke Roosberg won the Formula 1 World Championship. And, well, of course there is a game related to this. Okay, and it asks for a date. Fortunately, all the keys can be read from the screen, so steering with Q and W, and speed with O and P. This is a very simple track, but notice the high resolution graphics. To my understanding, this is written in BASIC. And yes, you are supposed to keep your car on the track. Failing to do so, eats up some time and the car is reset on the track. I'll try to make a clean lap now, so I'm going a little bit slow. But I'll show you a trick we learned in school when we had this in the 80s. You can cross a finish line and get a lap time, but you can also cheat a little bit. See, the second lap was much faster. And then of course there is this leaderboard. Yes, and now we have a topic that I don't really want to talk about, but maybe I have to at this point. The disks are getting old. They are 40, 50 years old, and we easily get read errors. So now is the time to take backup copies and even put them on some archive on the internet for others to access, because the disks are not getting any better, and the failure rate of computers and disks that have been stored is getting worse every year. So even though everything was fully functional when it was put away, it does not necessarily work when you try it the next time. I did cut away 5 minutes of failed attempts here earlier, and this will succeed in the end, don't worry. So here we have the famous Infocom text adventure. All 3 of them are available for the MikroMikko computer. And these are great games. And I died. Okay, let's try something else now after this one. And as a final treat, we will try out a program that will show the graphical capabilities of the MikroMikko M6 graphics computer. No, we don't have a printer, and yes, the number 1 key looks like normal escape key, so I'm pressing number 4 instead of 3 because, well. And let's start from the beginning. This is written in BASIC, so it's rather slow, but you can see what is happening. The resolution is quite high, 800 times 327, And that's quite good, because I think this is normal, well, some sort of a video monitor. When Nokia made this product, they were thinking of the ergonomic aspects and the user. So the keyboard is tilted and has an armrest. And the screen is very, very slow, because everybody who has looked at a 50 Hz screen knows that it hurts. No pun intended. Here the surface, or phosphor, or whatever you call it, is so slow that, well, you can see that the bouncing ball is like Halley's Comet or something else. Many of these demos show the same phenomena. But for reading text, this is excellent. And it really reduces the eye strain on the user. When the screen changes, you can see a ghost image on the screen for a long time afterwards. This is a little bit annoying, but it doesn't matter when you are handling text. I would not have this screen for gaming, but for work, absolutely. This is kind of interesting, and in a way it's very understandable that regular CPM programs don't see the graphic mode at all. Yes, the mandatory business graphics. This is neat. I think they are just changing the address of what the hardware is supposed to draw on the screen. Otherwise, this would be quite impossible to do in BASIC. And here you can really see how slow the screen is. It's supposed to be a ball, but it looks like a comet. The mandatory computer selfie of the 80s. Okay, it starts all over again. Let's end it here. Thank you.